When I read this whole thing, I thought about it. You actually did a contract. You tried to put a contract together with her. You had the victim sign the contract.
So what made you want to engage in inappropriate things with this victim?
That time I'm not blame her, I blame myself. That time she's made a video for TikTok, and this is hard to say. Dance with on the pants, like a pants one, and did everything after this video.
So so that's when you started seeing her in a different way? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right. And if this is not a first, he saw his daughter making a TikTok video, 14-year-old daughter, and that changed everything for him. He then went on to do the worst, and it includes signing a contract with her that would require her to do XYZ in order for him not to take away her phone. The list goes on and on as to what he did. There are so much evidence in that contract, even in the pictures that he took. Yet, this agenda-driven district attorney only sentenced him to 7 years in prison. He only has to register as an offender for 10 years. And as a matter of fact, he was only sentenced in March of 2024 and already up for parole. You really can't make it up. It's these agenda-driven district attorney and judges that simply do not care about protecting our little ones. Now, he was allowed out on bond for 2 years before sentencing, which it seems the judge considered that house arrest to be time served. So let that sink in. And while out on bond, he got married to someone else. This charmer, this prince, who clearly picks out his prey to gain access to their little ones, got married again while on house arrest. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, the Static 99 says that he is a low risk to reoffend. Anyways, let's jump into this hearing and I'll unpack more details at the end.
Please state your name and ME number for the record.
Me?
Yes.
It's Ernesto Oliveira. My number?
Yes, please.
435017.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Ernesto Oliveira. His number is 435017. He is serving a sentence of 18 years suspended after 7 years, followed by 15 years of probation, and must also register as a sex offender for 10 years. For his sex assault with a victim 13 or 14 years old, illegal sexual contact with a victim under 16, risk of injury to a child, and promoting minor in an obscene performance. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of January 30th, 2026. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the short-track sex offender program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the Static 99R, the offender's overall risk score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the low range. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin. Why do you think you deserve parole, sir?
Okay, I think because I have make a lot of change in my life. This since I came in prison, I have improved my life here and do my best inside the prison. The program helped me think a lot, change my life. Yeah, learn a lot.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
And was before my sentence. I was outside for 2 years, like a home in prison. I did probation also every week. Yeah, I did my best outside when I was outside in 2 years. I did my best over here.
Well, we appreciate that information, Mr. Oliveira. We do have some questions for you based on a review of your file. And then when we are done with our questions, we'll turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate for input from the victim. And then we will deliberate and give you our decision. Okay?
Okay, okay.
Best of luck to you, sir. Mr. Rodriguez is going to start with questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Oliveira. Thank you for your, for your statement. I think I would have wished to have heard a little bit more about what happened and how you feel about the victim in this case and what happened. But I didn't hear that. So can you talk to me a little bit about your responsibility in this and what you think the impact to the victim was in all of this?
I did this horrible thing. It's not supposed to do, but I did. I'm guilty to this thing, and I seriously destroy my family because in fact the victim school, in fact had I think psychology, and this is a horrible thing I did in my life. And I have a beautiful family before. Everything's gone because of what I did. And in fact,
What do you think the impact was on the victim for this? What do you think the impact was on your victims?
In fact, had like say school. She not can make it to school. I think she go in depression. Because I wanted the support in my house for her that time. And the stepfather, everything's gone because psychology, I think, affect her a lot. Because she can go, she was in program too, the program of police explore everything, have to stop.
When I read this whole thing, I thought about it. You actually did a contract. You tried to put a contract together with her. You had the victim sign the contract.
I did this hard, evil thing.
Well, I just can't understand what in the world you were thinking. All right, so you've taken some programming.
Yeah, I did.
What did you learn from the What did you learn from the program that you took, the short track sex offender program? How did that help you?
I learned like something called respectful decision, and I learned protect things like this. Do not do the same mistake again. And I learned, as I say, I have to respect people's opinion and something like this. Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, 'cause I kind of, when I read your information and your documents, I kind of felt that you really minimized a lot of what happened with you. And I guess for you, the evidence was your text messages were, right out the open. You were very open in your text messages.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. You had some other programming to take that you haven't taken yet?
No, because it's a big list of wait. I'm working here, then I will still wait for because a lot of people they list. And I still wait for the.
You think taking those programs could be helpful for you?
Any program is helpful for me because I'm here. I want to improve my life every day. Every day I want to improve. I want to learn more and more.
Yeah, and we want to be able to see you come out more prepared, right? Better prepared to deal with the outside.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that kind of concerned me that you hadn't finished some of your programming yet.
I finished one program. I finished like sex behavior. I finished.
Yeah, you finished. I know you finished that, but you still have voices.
Yeah.
Right. Which is about victims. Which I think if you might have taken your opening statement, might have included a little bit more information about how you feel about the victim. If you would have taken that program. So that concerns me. And I think New Thoughts was another program that you had?
As I say, I still wait to the program.
I know, but my thing to you is that I think that some of these programs could be very helpful for you in the way you think and the way you make decisions to do things. So those two kind of programs, right, I thought were very important for you to, complete at this point. You had some tickets while you were there?
And more than years ago, it's because I was the prison, and the guys come inside because my case, they go inside the bed, they put finger me, say you have to get out of here. Say then I go another block. The guy say you cannot stay with me. Stay
And now,
people.
and now you found a spot where you're okay, where you're better.
Yeah,
Your housing now.
Yeah, I've been here for more than a year, working here more than years now. Work at them, now we're working kitchen.
What would be your plans if you were released in terms of who would be your support system?
My wife is gonna be support friends, and my wife will be one of them.
And how about work?
I'm finishing carpenter. I work by myself.
You were doing your own business.
Yeah, one business.
Would you go back to that? Would you go back to your business?
If I allow them to go back to business, it's gonna take some time because of the insurance, everything, and go back in business.
Well, you're gonna have to be on the sex offender registry, right?
Yeah, I know.
And that's gonna be for like 10 years.
10 years.
What kind of impact do you think that's gonna have on your work, on your ability to work?
I work for Build. They know me. They know I was in prison now. And they say you get out, come, gonna give another job, work in new construction too for builders and for customer. Like a be finished car. I don't know. It's gonna check on.
Sorry. I don't know that I have a whole lot of questions. My concern really is that you really haven't finished some of your programming. And I would have liked to see you finish the Voices program because I think you would have had a whole different take on your victims in this particular situation. And maybe when you would have even come out with your opening statement, there would have been a little bit more information around that you would have given us. I was disappointed that you didn't say anything when you started out. And I'm sure you were probably a little nervous, coming in front of us.
No, it was I came here for my working year.
Well, I'm gonna have my colleagues ask you their questions, and I'm gonna reserve my decision for after that. But I do wish you a lot of luck, Mr. Oliveira.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
My apologies.
Thank you. So, Mr. Oliveira, I want to talk a little bit more about your the actual offense. So you were married to the victim's mother?
Yeah.
And how long were you married?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years or 8 years?
No, 10, almost 10. Yeah.
And so how old was this victim when you first met or married her mother?
Between 5 and 6.
Okay. So I'm just curious to know when the relationship changed from this being your daughter to your having some full interest in her. Do you know around what age that changed?
I think it's 14.
And so what made you want to engage in inappropriate things with this victim?
That time I'm not blame her, I blame myself. That time she's made a video for TikTok. And this is hard to say, and dance with on the pants, like a pants one. and did everything after this video.
So so that's when you started seeing her in a different way? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So why did the victim say that you touched her inappropriately prior to that happening?
She said, don't do this because it's supposed to be my daddy.
No, I'm saying she said that you touched her on her breast and that you would touch her vagina. Why would she say that you did those things prior to this video?
When I touched her, I got sorry.
It's okay. I understand that there may be a language barrier between the two of us. So your victim in this case, well, you have two victims, but this victim, the older victim, said that you would touch her inappropriately before this video came to light. So before she posted something about her being in a bathing suit or something, and you use that to kind of manipulate her into, performing.
She said before, but after the video, it's for us about the video.
So you weren't touching her before that? You weren't touching her
She
inappropriately?
said, but it's after the video.
She said that, but what?
Say after the video. She's made a video.
After
She's
the
on after the video.
Okay. Did you ever touch the younger child?
No.
She said that you would go into your room with her and close the door.
She's my daughter. I don't know. With my daughter, no. My stepmother, yes.
So do you admit now that you inappropriately touched her?
Oh,
The victim, your stepdaughter.
yeah, I thought.
You do. Okay. So because in every other document that we've reviewed, you've denied touching her. You said, yes, I sent inappropriate messages. My colleague talked to you about the contract that you sent her. And you've always said, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I sent the messages, but I didn't touch her. So now today you're admitting that you touched this victim.
Because nobody asked me this question. Before they wanna do this at the court. My lawyers set up everything for that time.
Okay. Okay. So you never denied it then. Is that what you're saying?
No, I plead guilty. I say to the judge in front of the judge, I'm guilty.
Okay. So when did you get married again, Mr. Oliveira?
December this year is gonna be 2 years.
And where did you meet this victim? I'm sorry. Where did you meet your wife? I'm sorry.
We
Your current wife.
both a Christian. We met a Christian aunt.
Okay. And does she know about this crime?
I should know everything.
And did you tell her that you did touch this minor child?
I should never ask, but if she asks her, yes, I'm gonna tell her. Say I'm guilty.
Okay.
She was in the court in the daytime. I say.
No, but I'm saying you married her before you went to prison. So that would have been one of the things I would have asked. Well, what did you do? She didn't ask you that?
No, she don't ask, but she asked you what you did. Say, I did send the video message. I'm guilty.
So where is your wife is now in Waterbury, right?
Overlook Avenue, 15 Overlook Avenue.
So
What about?
Okay, I don't want to even go down that road. Okay, Ms. Palmieri.
Thank you. So, Mr. Oliveira, I was looking at, well, my first question is, you said earlier, and I read, that you were out on bond for 2 years prior to being sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any treatment while you were in the community?
No, because I was at home prison and for probation. And the probation was about probation. And then allowed me just go to working and come back home. That's what I do outside. She's going
So
my
then-
house, I go in her house.
Okay, so you're on home confinement with the exception of going to work,
Yeah.
probably any medical appointments and religious.
Yeah.
So your attorney did not talk to you about participating in treatment or having an evaluation done prior to sentencing?
No, my perfect defense,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so you participated in an evaluation before today's hearing. It's the connection. And I read in the evaluation, you said, I did send text messages, and you said that the victim started things. That's what you said in the evaluation. And then you participated in treatment at the prison. Do you still think that the victim started things and that's how this all began?
Yes, I say, because she made a video, after the video, everything started. But it's my fault,
How is it your fault?
because I'm supposed to be for her like a daddy, not husband. I should be respect her. I didn't respect her.
So when you say she started it, what I'm hearing from you is that it's the video that you're saying started the whole thing. And if she hadn't posted the video, none of this other behavior would have happened?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Yes. So if the victim had not made this video of herself, none of this would have happened?
I think it's gonna happen because I was that time and evil people work a lot and everything. But they start everything after the video. I don't know it's gonna happen because I did. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try something anyway.
Okay. And when you participated in treatment at the prison, one of the you said one of your goals at the time with the victim was to punish her. What did you mean by that? Well, how did you intend to punish her?
Which because I don't want to her keep doing this stuff. Was video, and it's my life was there in the house this day. And my ex-wife, she not work that time. She stay on the beside the home, take care of the kid, and say, okay, it's done for now. You're not gonna do more video like this anymore. But when they start with the message, and everything's changed. She's changed.
What is the most important thing that you have learned from participating in the sex offender treatment program?
I learned I don't think I respect the victim and don't do the same thing again because I have my own daughter. It's my one daughter. And I can't remember everything now, but respect the people and don't commit the same mistake again. That's what I learned. And it's something they say like when you change your mind, what you think. I forget the name.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you is that you've learned from your time in the program to respect the victim.
Respect the victim, not do again the same mistake. And like about the, she said something about the touch, how I think before, how I think now after the program.
Okay. Did you, in your program, you talk about the harm, not just the physical harm, but the mental and emotional harm to your victims of this age?
That's the most important thing, one of the most important thing you talk about you.
And the age of the victim? Did you talk about the age of the victim?
No. That's a group you don't talk.
Okay. The other thing that when you finished treatment, you presented a relapse prevention plan. Do you remember that?
I can't even know. I have my, she gave me the papers. I got to study when I get out, but I can't remember everything.
Okay. Well, you had to come up with a plan for how you would live in the community and control yourself to not have another offense like this, to not commit another offense against a minor, a young person. So what is your plan for that?
I'm gonna try to stay with my wife, stay away from the kids. It's not my daughter. If I'm not gonna be my daughter, instead of the kids. And most of the time, I'm gonna be with my wife working. I stay home a lot of time. I'm a home guy, so I stay home. I was, as I said before, was 2 years outside in community.
Yeah, but you were 2 years outside and you explained to me that you were only allowed to go to work and basically come home.
Yeah, sometimes I go in store too because they allow me buy my grocery. And yeah, I go like a Walmart, Target, home, I'm gonna go home, buy my tools, my material.
So you understand that regardless of what happens today, when you are back in the community after your sentence, that you will have a condition that says you can have no contact with minors. Have you thought about how you'll handle that?
Yeah, as I say, it was before when I was in community for 2 years. I cannot have any contact with minor. I stay away in schools. Yeah, I know.
Okay, because you have 15 years of probation.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Oliveira, thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Palmieri. So, Mr. Oliveira, we are going to turn the hearing over to our victim's advocate for input from the victim. You can listen, but please do not interrupt, okay?
Okay.
And then when we're done, we will give you our decision after we deliberate, okay? So your speaking part is over now. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Vasquez.
Good morning, Madam Chair and board members. I have a statement where the victim has requested for me to read on her behalf. And it reads like this. Good morning, board members. I am writing you this letter about the email I received on September 10th, 2025, with the news that my ex-husband, Ernesto Oliveira, inmate number 435017, has a parole hearing scheduled for September 24th, 2025. I confess that this news took me by surprise. I feel that we're not ready yet. The last time he was free, he lived tense days. I couldn't work at peace, afraid that he might do something to my daughters and me. His sister even called me and threatened me several times, saying that his brother, Ernesto Oliveira, was innocent and that my daughter and I would pay for everything that was happening to him. For this reason, I do not feel safe with his freedom. I think that this time he spent in prison only made him angrier and want to fulfill his threats that he made. My daughter, initials A, is 11 years old and has to walk 1 block from my house to catch the school bus. But with him free, we will not be calm. I'm afraid that he might do something to her on the way that she has to walk to school, to my house. I know my daughter, J, has a protective order, but my daughter, A, and I no longer have a protective order. If possible, I would like you to give my daughter A and me a protective order equal to the one my daughter J has. I know that with this order, it will not take away the fear we feel, but it will give us peace of mind and security. I can still remember everything that happened that day on July 27th, 2020. I feel that we're not ready yet. We need more time for when he comes out in 2029. I also remember how we were manipulated and forced to do what he wanted and commanded. They were horrible days and moments and will mark forever in our lives. My daughter A needs to be seen by a psychologist 1 day a week because of the traumas and problems she has had after what happened. Considering our concern and our peace of mind, I hope that this letter will contribute to a better analysis of my request, and I am at your disposition to provide more information if necessary. Thank you in advance for your attention. Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. This is all that I have for this case.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vasquez. So now we're going to deliberate, Mr. Oliveira, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, first I want to thank the victim's mother for testifying. Get some additional information on this case. Mr. Oliveira has taken
Speak up, please, Mr. Rodriguez.
Sure, the short track sex offender program while incarcerated seems to have learned some things from it. I was taken from the fact that he had said nothing about the victims early on. I do believe that, for me anyway, that he could use some additional programming while he's still there. He's got till 2029 before he's EOS. I'm going to be open to hearing what my colleagues have to say, but at this particular moment, based on the victim's statement, the fact that he did not even mention the victims, and I still felt he kind of minimized what he had done, I'm going to be leaning toward denial at this point with a we hear if he takes the programming, New Thoughts and Voices, if he take those programming, which I think would give him a little bit more insight into the impact of really what he's done here.
Thank you.
But I'm also open to hearing what.
Thank you. So I do not believe that Mr. Oliveira is suitable for discretionary parole today either. He, at his own admission, he said that he would drink lots at that time. That he really doesn't do it now. I think he says he does it a little more social, but I know that he does not have an addiction services program on his OAP, but he does, and at his self-admission, attend AA according to the documents that I've reviewed. The nature of this offense is very concerning to me. The fact that he just came forward today saying that he accepts, that he admits that he has been touching this child inappropriately, I think that he is on the cusp of change. And I think that there's still a lot more work to do. I have Embracing Fatherhood also on his OAP, New Thoughts, Voices. Those are all programs that I believe will be beneficial for Mr. Oliveira to improve his suitability. So for me today, I would not support discretionary parole. I would deny him, and I would definitely give him some additional time to work on a release plan and programs. So, and I honestly, based on the nature of this crime, I would not. I know he's not eligible until January of next year, but I would give him, some additional time to work on himself.
I agree with everything that's already been said. I also do not have Mr. Oliveira suitable for discretionary parole today. Honestly, I'm not really sure what he got from the short-term sex offender treatment program. I know it says he participated in some study halls for some extra help, but I think that he needs to explore or review maybe paperwork from the program just a little bit more closely to have that idea of what a relapse prevention plan is for him in the community, what that's going to mean for him in his life. She will ultimately, be somewhat involved in that. So I'm a little bit troubled that he did not have a better sense of how that would all play out in the community, how work for him. I agree he's got more programming to do. And I do think that minimally a year before we bring him back, minimally.
I appreciate that. So it sounds like we all have similar concerns, and it does sound like he has a whole lot of work left to do. And I think that we should provide time for him to do that. So if we say a year from now, that's September 2026, I honestly was thinking more 18 months or 18 to 24 months. And I say that because, you know, he has so much time. And he did, you know, get off to a rocky start, and he has so much still to do. He said that they're waiting lists. So there's so many things that he could do in there to improve his suitability. So I want to give him as much time as possible to improve himself, and also, you know, the victim's input as well. You know, give them additional time to prepare for his release. So,
18 months?
18 months would be
From today.
March of 2027,
Yeah.
and that would give him about 2 years if he's released.
Exactly. And also, speaking of the victims, you know, the victim in her statement asked about protective orders. Stay away. You know, we'll give the victim some time to work with the court to get those 2 additional orders in place.
But I mean, should he be granted parole, we could definitely do a no contact condition if we're provided the names. But we have to, one, have the names, and two, you know, she can try to petition the court again for it in order. But I mean, I don't see that being a problem.
Nature and circumstances of offense, injury, and impacts of victims, and inadequate institutional program participation.
Yes. Yep. All right, so Mr. Oliveira, we're ready with our official decision. I move to deny Mr. Ernesto Oliveira 435017 discretionary parole at this time based on his inadequate program participation, the nature and circumstance of his crimes, and also the injury and impact to the victim and or the victim's family. I further move to rehear him in 18 months, and if my math is mathing, that is March of 2027. Mr. Oliveira has a number of programs remaining on his offender accountability plan, to which the panel is providing time to do that. And in addition, an addiction services program, if he can get into that, and any other positive programs. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so Mr. Oliveira, you'll receive all of this in writing. We couldn't support your parole today because we think that you still have some more work to do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You still have more work. So we'll hear you again in 18 months, March of 2027, okay?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I was outside for 2 years working.
Yeah.
I have no the proof 2 years proof now. I live before I met my wife. I will live by myself. I
Mhm.
attended probation. What's my risk for community? Because I was working outside.
Yeah, I know. And that's good. That shows that you can remain in the community without committing any offenses. But for us, in order to support your parole, you have more work to do, sir. So,
Okay.
yeah, okay? Then you'll get everything in writing. And we appreciate your input. Good luck to
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
Good luck, Mr. Oliveira.
Thank
This
you.
concludes the hearing for Ernesto Oliveira.
It does.
You're all set.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
done.
go back to working. Thank you.
They denied parole, and they will do a rehearing in 2027. And as long as Connecticut is still streaming these, because they may not, they may be trying to stop us as other states have, we will play it in the return of playlist where we track offenders as they go through the system. Now, I'm going to get a few things off my chest. I'm also going to share with you the details of the crime because there have been reports on it. There is media information on this man's crime, so we can go over it, and we can go over just how insane, just how pathetic, how agenda driven the district attorneys and judges are in these cases. Again, I'm reading an article from March 15th of 2024. He has his parole hearing on September 24th, 2025. His full term date is 2029. That means if he serves his entire sentence, it is just 5 years. Well, then you might ask, but I thought he got a 7-year sentence. Well, his house arrest, the judge felt, should be counted towards that 7 years. So it's 5 years. And chances are he'll get paroled after a couple years because they always parole them the second time. Can you imagine that the victim was notified on September 10th, 2025, that the parole hearing for the monster will be in 14 days? That's how Connecticut does it. They give you 14 days via email. You think that she had any expectation that she would have to come up for a parole hearing within a year and a few months of the sentencing date? No, they have no idea. As a matter of fact, in the actual documents, they tried to gaslight everybody. You know what the official sentence is? If only I could use these things, these pop-up ad, it's just ridiculous. His official sentence. Why do they design it like this? Why? Why do I want a screen to pop up in my face when I'm reading an article? They're really clueless. I'm telling you, they're clueless. The people who run these websites are clueless. They're nuts. Okay. Let's see if I can find it this time. I don't know if I can. I'm probably just going to have to read it to you because here it is. This is how they want to gaslight us. Some of the charges were dropped according to court records, which show that he was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Wow, you would say, if you knew nothing about the system, if you knew nothing about these parole hearings, if you just didn't understand, which the majority of the public does not understand that. Then they go on to say, well, it was suspended after 7 years. And then again, with this house arrest, it's only 5 years, and then parole eligibility after serving half is 2.5 years. That's the bottom line. Now, but plus 15 years probation, although they don't tell you here is that it's only 10-year on the registry, which is absolute madness. Why someone who would do this to a little one with implications or allegations of him doing it to even his own biological daughter, the promoting it to a minor of obscene performance, 7 years for imprisonment on one count of illegal sexual contact, 7 years on one count of risk of injury to a child, and 5 years in prison on one count of fourth-degree SA. Remember, they talk about all these counts, but it's only it's all suspended. It's a gimmick. It's a joke. And I'll read to you. I'm going to read it to you. I'm not going to scroll it because I can't with these ads, and it's going to drive me nuts, and I'll drive you nuts. So I'll get into the details of the crime. But if you're wondering or saying, well, what choice did the judge have? What choice did the prosecution have? And let me tell you, on the one charge that he pled guilty to, which was promoting a minor in an obscene performance, 53A-196A, the Connecticut legislation allows 25 years because he was a parent guardian figure. 25 years just for that charge. And when you look at this and you say, why would a judge not give the maximum? This is a man who, as you can see, even here, he never admitted guilt. He never he played. You know what it is too? It's the manipulation. I don't know. Like I watched this hearing several times, and it might make you think, well, there's a language barrier. He's not running with the full set. He doesn't seem to really understand what's going on. I don't buy any of it. He, from the very beginning, had a game plan. Even from the first question when they said, give us your name and DOC number, and he looks around and he says, who, me? No, the guy, the invisible man next to you. And then he plays it dumb. He plays it, it's very manipulative. And one has to remember, if you're saying, Mandoo, how do you know? You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have a PhD. And we're like, well, what kind of man can get married while on house arrest for this crime, if you're not charming, if you're not manipulative, if you're not charismatic, he has to have something. He's putting on a show. And then even at the end of the hearing, he knew exactly what they said. He understood it. You can see him listening intently. He's there. He's running with the full set. He's just incredibly manipulative. And, the board should challenge him. They should hold him to it. The DA and the judges, he had a literal contract. They had the royal flush. He took pictures so that crime, which was you could have possession of CP, which is minimum of 5 years for 20 images or less. Who knows how many images he had? They didn't get him for that. Instead, they got him on a higher charge. Sure, go for it, which was promoting a minor in obscene performance, which was 25 years. That you don't like, and then he pleads to it, and you give him a sweetheart deal of essentially 5 years. It doesn't make sense. He is a predator. He's a chomo. He married this woman to gain access to the prey. Let me read to you, and I'm not going to screen share because I can't with the things popping up, and it's just insane. But let me just get into the details. So he was arrested on 6 felony counts, 3 misdemeanor charges in August 2020, stemming from Danbury police investigation into the SA complaint made by a 14-year-old. His daughter. She knew him as a father. As he said, he was married to them for like 10 years. And then he tries to slip around the dates. When did you become? Oh, when I saw the TikTok video. I'm not going to blame her. But it was a TikTok video. You can't even make this stuff up. According to the warrant of the arrest, Olivia sent the teen Instagram messages that police described as in nature, asking her to engage in acts with him. So they have the paper trail. They have the royal flush. They have the DNA evidence. The warrant said he also wrote the teen a note in which he attempted to pressuring her into allowing him to perform acts on her. The note, which police said read like a contract, stated that the teen would have to act like nothing happened and keep the secrets until death. And included a line for her to sign her name in an agreement, a contract. Where have we seen this before? We saw this in the Chris Hansen. The pizza predator? He had a contract. The victim told police that OLIVEIRA had been touching her inappropriately and taking nude photos of her. Again, they have the evidence. They had everything to throw him away. And they give him a gift. Gift upon gift. 2 years house arrest, which counted towards his time. And then ultimately 5 years in prison, which he will not serve after parole. Why? His original charges, including promoting a minor in obscene performance, 2 counts of illegal essay, 3 counts of risk of injury, impairing the morals of a child, 2 counts of 4th-degree essay, and 1 count of 2nd-degree harassment. Some of the charges were dropped according to the records, in which he was sentenced to 18 years in prison, suspended after 7 years, plus 15 years probation on promoting a minor, obscene performance charges, 7 years imprisonment, and 1 count of illegal sex, 7 years. And he only needs to register for 10 years, and he's a low risk because he took think about even just that. How is someone like this a low risk? Because he took a program? No, we know why. It's a static 9-9. We've gone through the static 9-9 before. I don't know if I should go through it again, but the static 9-9 works as a joke. I mean, I guess I could show it to you again. Why not? You can, if you could just skip this. This is the unpacking. You don't need to be here. And by the way, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help the algorithm when I do this. The algorithm, a lot of it works on comments. If you leave comments, now this is the new algorithm. If you leave comments, then that helps for whatever reason. And if you, but if you leave a video and only watch 25% of it, that hurts, right? So the longer I unpack, the worse it is because, but I feel it's important. Again, if I did no unpacking, then you watch a higher percentage. So here it is. He's 50 years old. So because he's 50 years old, he's a -1. The lower the score, the better. That's how it works. Okay. Now, if you ever lived with a lover, can you imagine this is question number 2, which is so insane? The answer is yes. So now he's still at a -1, which is so insane, right? So he's still a super low risk to reoffend. Then you can go through what the offenses are. And I'll just give you the example. On question 5, have you had prior offenses? If you said, yes, I have had 2 to 3 prior offenses. Let's just say he said he had 3. So he was busted 3 times being a chomo. And then you don't check any of the other boxes, which is very easy not to because they don't make any sense. They're redundant, insane questions. So because he was a -1, and a 0, and now he'd pick up 2 points because he had offended 3 other times he had convictions. He would have 1 point. And what's 1 point? Low. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why he's a low risk to reoffend. Now, anybody who doesn't have a PhD, who's not a judge, who's not a district attorney, knows that this is insane. But here we are, using this in all 50 states as the 10-point questionnaire to gauge whether someone is a low risk or not. And of course, that's insane. Of course, that makes no sense. But they do it. They do it because, if you're governor and you have your balance sheet, you need to manage your state. And, well, you look at your balance sheet and you say, how am I going to balance this budget? Well, why our prisons are expensive? Wow, why is such a large percentage of our prisons with chomos? Well, let's find a way to get them out of prison so that we can have spend the money elsewhere. I can, maybe I can increase all of our salaries, or take, get another few limos for my fleet. Okay, yeah, let's use the static 99. The static 99, it indemnifies us as doing anything wrong. It says they're a low risk, and that's it. I think it's that simple. I do. Here's I'll read to you another article where it goes into the contract. According to police, the victim also showed them a photo of a note allegedly written by Oliveira that read like a contract stating that if the teen allowed him to perform on her until the end of the year and every week, then he would let her have her phone. The paper stated that the teen would have to act like nothing happened, keep the secrets until death, and included a line of her to sign her name in agreement according to the warrant. The victim told police that he had been touching her inappropriately and taking pictures of her without clothing for the past year. One time, according to the police warrant, Olivia threatened to tell the victim's mother about a photo she had posted of herself in a one-piece bathing suit. Ernesto saw the picture and threatened me that if my mother saw the picture, I would not be allowed to have my phone, according to the victim's statement by police. The teen said that he came to take her phone away, and when she begged to let him keep it, said she had to let him take naked pictures of her, and if she didn't want him telling her mother, according to the police warrant. The girl said that he took her to the basement, undressed her, and took the photos with his phone. Police obtained a warrant for July 31st and took him into custody 3 days later. He doesn't get charged with CP, but he gets charged with the greater offense of obscene performance, which again is 25 years. And here's the thing. I just don't buy it. You want to say, oh, we don't want to put her on the stand. BS. And even then, he pled guilty. The judge could have sentenced him to the maximum. There's no guarantee of how many years you'll get. They recommend it. But, and this is, I used to say weak judges and weak DAs, but I'm changing it now. It's It's agenda-driven judges and DAs. In Connecticut, they have a mental illness. And that mental illness is they do not believe that chomos exist. They believe in these low risk scores. They believe in rehabilitation. They do not believe that this man is very specifically dangerous and will always be dangerous and will always be creating more victims, and that it's okay that he's on a 10-year registry because he took a program he'll learn. They want to be able to brag about having lower incarceration rates than their neighboring states like New Jersey and New York. That's their focus. They don't want the data to tell a story that they don't want to see. They don't want to admit that monsters exist. They want to keep their head in the sky and let our children be the victims of their incompetency, of their agenda. And then he's a low risk to reoffend. You know, someone should do a study. If I would ever get a PhD, I probably would investigate the women that marry these monsters. Like, what is it? What is it? I need to know. I need to understand who these women are. Why? Like, seriously, why? Why would you marry someone who like, what does he have to offer you? How pathetic are you that you need to marry this chomo? Like, 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 what creates this bond of monsters? I just don't get it. I have this real desire to know because these chomos, they find ways to get to marry women, and then you hear on the other side there are so many like millions of men who can't get a date, and yet these clearly like there's nothing interesting about them. There is nothing. These are not like there's nothing desirable about. Yet they manage to do it. And they do it, I just so they can I mean, you know, it's just unbelievable. I'll never get it. I'll never get it. But here you go. There you have it. And when he comes back, we'll cover it in the return of playlist. And with that, I'll let you go.
About the email I received on September 10th, 2025, with the news that my ex-husband, Ernesto Oliveira, inmate number 435017, has a parole hearing scheduled for September 24th, 2025. I confess that this news took me by surprise. I feel that we're not ready yet. The last time he was free, he lived tense days. I couldn't work at peace, afraid that he might do something to my daughters and me. His sister even called me and threatened me several times, saying that his brother, Ernesto Oliveira, was innocent and that my daughter and I would pay for everything that was happening to him. For this reason, I do not feel safe with his freedom. I think that this time he spent in prison only made him angrier and want to fulfill his threats that he made.